Good morning. We are situated at the BukSU Mini Theater and currently live streamed through our official Facebook page. We are also live on air at our campus and community-based FM radio station, DxBU 104.5 FM. That speaks about the importance of this event. Today is a wonderful day for new hope and possibilities for Bukidnon State University community. With that, welcome to the search for the next University President public forum and presentation of the candidates. Can we give ourselves a round of applause? Our respect and greetings to Commissioner Jomar Libre, our CHED Commissioner, and those who are keenly awaiting for the proceedings online. In attendance on site, we have respected heads, partners in different sectors of the academic community. We are honored to recognize the following people, and may we request you to please stand to be acknowledged. From the Office of the University President, we have Attorney Ryan L. Esteves, our Officer in Charge, Office of the University President. We also have, from the Office of the Vice Presidents, Mr. Dante S. Victoria Jr., Vice President for Administration and Finance, and our Board Secretary 5. Sir, good morning. We have Dr. Hazel Jean Emma Buella, our Vice President for Academic Affairs. Good morning, ma'am. And from the Board of Regents, we are happy to see in attendance Dr. Victor Emberoso, President of the Alumni Association. Good morning, sir. We also have Dr. Once again, we have Dr. Jocelyn K. Tamin, our private sector representative. Another representative from the private sector, Mr. Ray Anthony M. Ramos. Good morning, sir. We have Mr. Ivan Heinrich A. Villanueva, our faculty regent and the president of BukSU Faculty Association. Good morning. And Sir Peniel Red T. Yambagon from the student regent, the president of the Supreme Student Council. And of course, from the Search Committee for Presidency, we have here with us Attorney Lily Freda Macabangon Milia, the chairperson of BukSU Search Committee for Presidency. Good morning, ma'am. Attorney Milia will be introducing the rest of the search committee members during her time in the program. We would also like to acknowledge the presence of our university heads, our chief administrative officers, deans, chairpersons, and unit heads, and of course the different sectors of this university. So today, Bukidnon State University, we will witness another milestone in the history of Bukidnon State University as the three candidates vying to be the university's next president discuss their vision, mission, and development goals for the university in the future. So there is no doubt that these applicants have strong credentials in both their managerial experience and their academic qualifications. So to start, may I request everyone to stand for the invocation, to be followed by the singing of the national anthem, to be led by the BukSU Chorale.
magiliw, pero sa silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuwing ka ng magiting, sa manlulupit, di ka pasisiyo. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit bumaga, may dilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng matawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdinigdig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng wal, ating pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pa, may mag-aapi ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Thank you very much, Bukidnon State University Chorale. You may now take your seats. At this point, may we invite Attorney
Maayong buntag. Hanggang doon lang yung alam ko. Of course, a due acknowledgement to our key officials with us today. The OIC of the Office of the President of the Bukidnon State University, Dr. Attorney Ryan Esteves. Yes, tayo kayo, di ka tumayo kanina. He's also the Executive Director of UNIFAS. He's responsible for the free education, along with the chairman, and of course, your TES. To Dr. Hazel Jean Abuhela. Okay. Yes, thank you. Of course, the other officials of the Bukidnon State University and the Board of Regents, led by Dr. Victor Barroso, who's former president also of Bukidnon State U, president of the Alumni Association, Dr. Jocelyn Tamin and Ray Anthony M. Ramos of the private sector, Ivan Henrich Villanueva, the faculty regent, and Piniel Red Yambogan, the student regent. The regional director of our Commission on Higher Education Region 10, Dr. Freddy Bernal. To all the officials, staff, students, parents, and interested stakeholders of the Bukidnon State University community, the local government, who we hope are also watching over at FB Live, and the various representatives of the community of stakeholders of this great university. Today marks a watershed moment in the history of the Bukidnon State University. It is a defining moment of utmost importance as the Bukidnon State U community and its stakeholders are presented with a choice of leadership that ushers the future of the Bukidnon State as a university of the future, delivering world-class quality, accessible, and relevant higher education in the Philippines. Bukidnon State had the privilege of being led by outstanding academic leaders of this region, starting when it was still a Bukidnon State College, led by Dr. Jaime Gelor, Dr. Teresita Tumapon, until its conversion during the time of Dr. Victor Barroso, who is with us today, of course, Dr. Oscar Cabaneles, and now OIC President, Attorney Esteves. Your new leader will be standing on the shoulders of these great men and women of BukSU who built what Bukidnon State University is now today. The COVID-19 pandemic brought upon us profound changes that affects the way we live, work, teach, and learn. It is these challenges and opportunities that now beset your choice of a new brand of leadership that is defined by the times, shaped by the opportunities, embodies agility and resiliency, and a pillar of strength for the community at times of great pressure, ambiguity, stress, and crisis. It is a leadership that is so dynamic that actively and positively collaborates with the stakeholders from the academe, the local government, the communities, the industries, and CHED and other national government agencies. A leadership that knows it is not solely responsible to the Bukidnon State community, but to the higher education sector, to its community of scholars, to the province of Bukidnon, the region, the country, and the world. It is a brave leadership that can boldly lead and inspire the Bukidnon State University community to global leadership in the region and assures and ensures that its graduates are not just globally competitive in skills and knowledge, but are responsible global citizens who have a stake in building a sustainable, inclusive, healthy future for everyone. And more importantly, it is a compassionate leadership, an ethical and compassionate leadership. It may be too much to ask from a leader, you say, but as leadership guru Simon Sinek says, and I quote, "The role of a leader is not to come up with all the great ideas. The role of a leader is to create an environment in which great ideas can happen." End of quote. This leader is a change maker and a team builder. The success of Bukidnon State University is not merely centered on her or his leadership, but collectively builds for and from the community of scholars, the leaders of this province, the partners in government, led by the LGU and CHED, the parents, the indigenous communities who built this land, and men and women of the Bukidnon State University family. The academic community and its partner stakeholders will come together to aspire and be inspired to work together strongly and purposefully towards Bukidnon State University's future that is secure and trailblazing. The search committee for the presidency of the Bukidnon State University is honored and privileged to be of service to this whole community. We have been granted this distinct honor to serve you and pave the way for your choice of leadership. The search committee is composed of highly respected and esteemed professionals representing the important sectors of Bukidnon State University. And allow me to present them to you. Representing the academic community, Mr. Jude Joseph Ruliada. Representing the private sector, Pastor Daniel Asuncion. Representing PASUC, the Philippine Association of State University, the President of the University of Southeastern Philippines, Dr. Lourdes Generalao, who is joining us online all throughout the day. From the Commission on Higher Education, our CHED Regional Director, Region 10, Dr. Freddy Bernal. And yours truly, Attorney Lily Freyda Milia. I'm currently the Director of the International Affairs Service of the Commission on Higher Education and the OIC Deputy Executive Director at your service. We are supported with the most competent and professional secretariat led by Dr. Dante Victoria Dante, Vice President for Admin and Finance, and also Board Secretary, one of my longest, oldest friends in the State University circle. Of course, the very efficient staff of the Board Secretary, Daniel and Crystal, wala pa yata silang tulog. Yeah. And and their CHED counterpart, Ms. Army Bunag and Ms. Stephanie Condes. Of course, all of this is not possible without the support and guidance from the Chairman of the Board of Regents, the Chair-designate Dr. Joe Mark Libre, and the members of the Board of Regents. It was not an easy task to pour into the application documents of the distinguished applicants herein, and they are voluminous. But it was most pleasurable, enjoyable, and stress-free search because of the camaraderie of the committee. We all agreed that it is smooth sailing and the whole search cannot ask for more. And thank you so much for the friendship that was built in this committee. On behalf of the Search Committee and Secretariat, daghang salamat sa inyong tanan. We are at your service. So, ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you the candidates for President of the Great Bukidnon State University. Dr. Jerry Teleron, please. Dr. Mercedita Villamayor. And Dr. Joy Molina Mirasol. They will be properly introduced later. One of them will be your leader who will write with you and for you the next chapters of the unraveling journey of Bukidnon State University into becoming a transformative and world-renowned university of the future. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Attorney Milia, for your heartwarming remarks and for the introduction of our BukSU Search Committee for Presidency. To read to us the mechanics, please help me welcome on stage Mr. Dante S. Victoria Jr., Vice President for Administration and Finance, and our Board Secretary 5. A round of applause, please.
Pleasant morning to our esteemed guests of Bukidnon State University, our members of the Board of Regents, headed by Commissioner Joe Mark Libre, and those present in this theater, our Search Committee for the Presidency, headed by Attorney Milia, my fellow workers in BukSU, students, as well as our campus in charge in various satellite campuses, and the public of the city of Malaybalay and the entire province, maayong buntag sa tanan. As a secretariat of this search for the presidency, today I am having a mixed feeling because this is a historic event that will again be part of the history of Bukidnon State University. I am proud for the three candidates for really doing their best and submitting their applications for the presidency. So allow me to read the mechanics for the public forum and then as well as during the Q&A. Today, the candidates shall appear before an audience composed primarily of representatives coming from the following sectors: the students, the faculty, the non-teaching staff, and the Alumni Association, and our community partners, the IP community, DepEd, local government unit of Malaybalay, LGBTQIA+ community, and other sectors. The sequence of the individual presentation will be determined by drawing lots, which we have done earlier. I think our MC will be announcing later on the order. after drawing lots, a 5-minute recess, or maybe less than 5 minutes, will be declared to give a chance to the first candidate to prepare, while the rest will be ushered to a separate waiting area. We have a waiting lounge, no, adjacent to this theater, where they will not have the opportunity to listen to the presentations being done by the other candidate. So therefore, mura ni siyang Miss Universe, no? While the candidate is having question and answers and then presentation, the other candidates will not be able to listen. Each candidate will be given a maximum of 15 minutes to give a brief description about himself or herself and present to the public his or her mission, vision, and development goals for the university. The candidates will be allowed to use a PowerPoint presentation or any other presentation application with the aid of any high-tech equipment, provided that they submit a printed report of their presentation to the SCP, which our secretariat will be providing to our search committee. A timekeeper will be assigned to remind the applicant 2 minutes before the expiration of the 15 minutes given, and another reminder at the expiration of the 15 minutes. The reminder may be through a paper, no, with a sign, last 2 minutes, or it's time. And the same process will be observed up to the last candidate. After the last candidate presentation, there will be a 15-minute recess for the preparation of the open forum or question and answer portion. Let me now go to the Q&A mechanics. No? We will have 2 rounds of Q&A. For the first round, the candidates will answer the same questions, one from each of the 5 sectoral groups. So 1 question from students, 1 question from faculty, from non-teaching personnel, from alumni, and other community partners. And the questions will be screened by the search committee. So we will be giving you papers for you to write your questions. There will be no direct questions from the audience. No? You can write your questions. No? That is for us to be able to screen, because, you know, baka may mga questions na below the belt. No, we don't want to allow that. No, the questions should be valid and relevant to the university. The candidates will answer in the same order as previously determined by their presentation order. So each candidate will be given 2 minutes to answer each question. No? 2 minutes, no? From each sectoral representatives. A timekeeper will also be assigned to remind the applicant 30 seconds before the expiration of the 2 minutes given, and another reminder at the expiration of the 2 minutes. While one candidate is answering the other candidates, the other candidates will stay at the holding area, so they won't hear the questions being asked, because it's the same set of questions will be asked to the next and to the third. So the same questions. That's for the first round. For the second round, all the candidates will be called on stage. They will be called here to answer questions specifically intended for them by the audience. So this time, you will be writing the name. Who would you like to answer the question? The number of questions is yet to be determined, whether depending on the time, no? We can probably ask as many questions, up to maybe 10 questions or 20 questions. Depende, no? because we need to stop at 12 o'clock. Hindi pwede na umabot tayo ng 1 o'clock, no? Okay, there will be another activity at 1 o'clock. So the candidates will answer in the same order as previously determined by their presentation order. Again, 2 minutes will be given to answer each questions. A timekeeper will also be assigned to remind the candidate that it's 30 seconds and it's already 2 minutes. Yan. That will be our mechanics. So that you will not be in a hurry later on. For the questions, we have already prepared the papers, no? My staff, si Crystal, si Daniel, or si Vince, they are holding the paper. So if you already have questions, then you can start crafting the question so that ready na during the Q&A. So while they are having their presentation, you can already write your questions. May the best question wins. Because there will be a lot of questions, so we're going to pick the best question, no? And may the best answer wins. That would be all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dante S. Victoria Jr. The mechanics has been read for the forum proper and the question and answer portion. So we are now ready for our forum proper, where our candidates will present the vision, mission, and their development goals. We have already drawn lots for the sequence of the presentation. So this is now the sequence of the presentation. First to present is Dr. Jerry I. Teleron, followed by Dr. Joy M. Mirasol, and finally, Dr. Mercedita S. Villamayor. Our first presenter will remain, and candidates 2 and 3 will go to the holding area. Our assistants, please assist our candidates 2 and 3. May we also ask the technical assistant of our first presenter to please prepare the presentations inside our technical or our control booth. Let me reiterate that the timekeeper will remind the applicant 2 minutes before the expiration of the 15 minutes given, and another reminder at the expiration of the 15 minutes. We will be having a 1-minute break. Thank you very much. Candidate is an Associate Professor 4 of Surigao del Norte State University and currently the Chairperson of Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering and the overall Research Coordinator. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our presidential candidate number 1, Dr. Jerry I. Teleron. A round of applause, please.
members of the Board of Regents, Chairperson and members of the Search Committee for Presidency, the BukSU stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Jerry Inserto Teleron, and I am honored to stand before you today as a candidate for the presidency of Bukidnon State University. I envision the transforming education to an industry-driven learning for Industrial Revolution 4.0. As a public knowledge, the world is rapidly changing and we are on the cusp of an industrial revolution, far different from what we have seen before. The fourth industrial revolution Industry 4.0 is driven by technology, and it changes the way we live, work, and learn. The Philippines is no exemption, and as educators and leaders, we must have a huge responsibility to prepare our students today and onward. In order to achieve this vision, the Bukidnon State University shall continuously provide high-quality and advanced training with industry-based facilities that ensures high-level competencies in technology, arts and sciences, business, nursing, law and administration, education, and soon engineering. Relative thereof, I dream for Bukidnon State University to transform education into an industry-driven learning hub, equipped with Industry 4.0. I shall endeavor that this university be a forefront of providing ASEAN professionals, ASEAN technologists, and soon ASEAN engineers, immersed with 21st century skills to successfully thrive in this challenging world of competitive labor market. To lead a promising university requires a lot of team effort, vision, and strong-willed leadership to reach the pedestal. Please allow me to unveil with you my book-ed agenda, building a university known for excellence and development. This agenda will unfold a meaningful roadmap of our journey in transforming the university for 4-year time. The culture of excellence is our goal, and the sustainable development is our formula. Our book-ed agenda is aligned to our collective efforts in fortifying the university's four-fold functions, such as research, instructions, production, and extension, or the RIPE programs. To deliver such programs efficiently, the university shall ensure each member of the academic community to be the integral part of the process. There is an equity and inclusion mechanism that students, faculty, staffs, alumni, and partners are represented and have a voice in realizing our collective plans and programs by including them in every step of the way. Together, we will transform the Bukidnon State University to be a leading research university towards innovation, invention, and internalization. We must prioritize the development of the new research institutes for various disciplines, research centers and facilities, innovation laboratories, and state-of-the-art research facilities that will foster collaboration and technopreneurship. To achieve greater heights, we shall establish strong partnerships and linkages such as industry, academia, collaboration, non-government organizations here and abroad, and international funding agencies. To boost our public image and credibility, we must institutionalize credible publication, patent, and intellectual property policies of the university to engage more researchers to venture for and engage with the community. As such, we will strive to develop incubators and accelerators and create venture fund, establish a research park, licensing and royalties program, innovation and entrepreneurship center, and research grants. As we together build a university known for excellence and development, instruction is a foremost priority for development and massive transformation. In terms of curriculum development, we shall offer curricular programs in engineering and technology to respond to the current needs and demands of the province and of the country. living in this state of Industrial Revolution 4.0 and the digital era. We have to attune higher education programs to be socially responsive and technologically advanced. Emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and Internet of Things will be incorporated into a curriculum to ensure job-ready and employable graduates of the university. Furthermore, we shall continually aspire for high-quality program offerings for BukSU to be known as Center of Excellence and Center of Development in most, if not all, baccalaureate programs. The holistic development of our students is the university's prime concern. We shall enrich our education, training, and exposure of our students to international standards, exposure of students as pre-service teachers and on-the-job trainees abroad is an edge among other graduates in their future workplaces, hence preparing them to be more competitive, adaptive, and job-ready. To implement adaptive and job-ready, to implement efficient student services, we shall employ online and paperless initiatives to fast-track transactions of students and clients to ease doing business. As your president, I am committed to investing more programs and projects for student welfare and development as they soon echo the quality services and curricula offered to them. We will advance their learning and experience so we may harvest board top-notchers and high employability rates. As such, an industry-driven education system would be include the following: strong emphasis of project-based learning, integration of soft skills, utilization of online and blended learning methods, development of specialized programs and certifications. My vision for Bukidnon State University would be realistic by investing a strong and dynamic human resource as frontrunners in our programs and services. We will support and invest for continuing professional development of our faculty and staff by obtaining aligned PhDs and doctoral degrees from top universities in the Philippines and abroad. Your growth is my growth. Your academic and professional advances are collective triumph of the university. If need arises, we will grant academic and industry exposures outside the province and the country to keep abreast with the current trends and development of the 21st century pedagogy. In order to uplift our educational landscape, we shall advance qualifications, expertise of our teaching personnel by investing on them and putting them in a long-term strategic priority. Providing incentives and awards for faculty researchers under publications, utilize research outputs, utility models, inventions, and research awards and performances to boost morale and motivations to contribute more in the development of the university's trust. To generate more funds, we aim a viable and sustainable income-generating projects. We will maximize the available potential skills and resources of the university to earn profits and funds. Each academic program shall spearhead a major flagship IGP. Thus, the university shall endeavor to offer business and entrepreneurship courses, provide access to industry experts through mentorship, implement technology transfer program, intensify public-private partnership program. It is but the university's social responsibility to extend services to our communities. Extension programs become effective and feasible if it is guided with a concrete banner program for every field of the study or discipline. Our research outputs are best amplified through extension programs. Here are a few ways that this could be achieved: building partnerships with local business and organizations, creating entrepreneurship program, creating community innovation hub, community outreach, sustaining good governance, and proactive administration. It is what BukEd is gearing toward. We will advocate continuity in our quest of excellence, especially on quality services by subjecting the university to be accredited by Philippine Technological Council for ASEAN professionals, technologists, and engineers and other quality-driven undertakings to shape up our university what it is to achieve. Transparency and accountability in our administrative duties will be a signature brand in the BukEd management. To employ inclusive education for the Industry 4.0 era, we will launch a diversity, equity, and inclusion program that harmonizes the entire academic community and its immediate clienteles. State-of-the-art infrastructure projects and smart and climate-resilient facilities with digital twins technology will soon rise to put the university on the pedestal. I am a man with a strong vision and action. I am a man ready to take on challenges and opportunities that Industry 4.0 bring us a greater spectrum. Help me realize our dream, our vision, our university. This is Jerry Teleron. Together, walk through with me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Presidential Candidate number 1, Dr. Jerry I. Teleron. May I ask our assistants to please usher Dr. Teleron back to the holding area. We are now ready for our candidate number 2. May we ask our technical assistants to please prepare the presentation at the control booth. Our second candidate, or our second presidential candidate, is Dr. Joy M. Mirasol. Dr. Joy M. Mirasol is Professor 6 of Bukidnon State University and the Vice President for Research, Extension, and Innovations. Please help me welcome once again Dr. Joy M. Mirasol.
To our OIC President, Attorney Ryan L. Esteves, the BukSU Search Committee for Presidency headed by Attorney Lily Freda Macabangon Mila, the BukSU stakeholders, maayad ha masalom inyo alan. Good morning, everyone. Abraham Lincoln, one of the world's greatest leaders, said, "The most reliable way to predict the future is to create it." Today, allow me to share with you my vision for our beloved Bukidnon State University. BukSU's future I will commit to create for and with you when given the honor of becoming your university president. I am Joy Molina Mirasol, a civil engineer by profession, a professor by vocation, and a research and development worker by heart. I have been with BukSU for 29 years, serving the university in various designations. In research and extension, in academic affairs, and in committee membership and chairmanship in administration, planning, and development functions. I have seen the multidimensional facets of BukSU's governance and have given the best that I can to ensure quality across these areas. This is manifested by recognitions gained at the international, national, regional, and institutional levels. My experiences across the operations of this state university are the very basis of steering BukSU to a higher ground. I witnessed how BukSU blossomed from its humble beginnings as a state college to the pedestal it now stands on as a Level 3 state university through significant milestones which I am humbled have been a part of. With experience and a genuine love for what BukSU stands for, as a higher education institution, I want to build upon the legacy and the foundation laid down by the past administrations while implementing innovations necessary for the university to become the premier university we want it to be. In the next 8 years, BukSU will find itself navigating the tides of the fifth industrial revolution, an era marked by global educational reforms, propelled by technological advancement and Education 5.0, the use of new technologies to provide more humanized teaching. The future of higher education is anchored on leveraging human-technology collaborations for greater societal well-being and inclusive, sustainable development. Here, research and innovations are drivers for a transition to a sustainable, human-centric, and resilient world. With this trajectory, I envision a smart BukSU, a future-ready university. Being in a smart environment means enhancing spatial, temporal, cultural, professional, local, and global partnerships. The implementation of a smart university can result to enhancing experience, efficiency, and education. As a smart university, BukSU will provide innovative ways of working, learning, and teaching in spaces that creatively integrate advanced hardware and software platforms. BukSU will thus commit to develop innovative, ethical, and culture-sensitive professionals who are committed to an inclusive and sustainable life for all through quality instruction, research, extension, and production. To become a premier future-ready smart university, BukSU will be guided by the following development goals: a smart campus, a smart education, a smart research development and extension, and a smart governance. And at the core are the smart students and a smart workforce. Each development goal is represented by a circle in a hexahelix model. My hexahelix smart university framework represents, first, the vital interactions of the 6 components as key players in building a future-ready BukSU. And second, my desire to make BukSU a helix organization, an agile and lean organization that provides a balance between flexibility and stability. Leadership is focused on 2 clear, equal, and parallel lines of accountability. First, capability management, how work gets done by focusing on talent, resources, and setting standards for working. Second, value creation, what work gets done, that is setting priorities, providing day-to-day oversight, and ensuring that the community is steering in the same direction. A smart campus. BukSU will utilize smart technologies to ensure operational efficiency and improve client experience. The administration will invest on technological innovations, advanced network infrastructure, computer innovations, and data systems to provide supportive and engaging experiences for its stakeholders. The university will capitalize on digital solutions to complement efforts to make BukSU the first green university in Northern Mindanao. That is, a university with environmental sustainability measures and infrastructure in place. A smart education. BukSU's brand of education will be technology-driven to enable learners to learn more efficiently, effectively, comfortably, and flexibly. and geared towards producing employable graduates who meet the needs of the work and life in the 21st century. I will prioritize institutional accreditations, increase in number of CODs and COEs, and visibility in national and international rankings. Intensify international mobility of faculty and students, upgrading of learning facilities and resources, comprehensive work industry immersion programs for all undergraduate courses, diploma and transcript of records upon graduation to reduce waiting time for employment. This will be a hallmark of BukSU's efficient processes and a strong manifestation of our desire to support the employment of our graduates. A smart research, development, and extension. BukSU will strive to become an emerging research university via smart RDE. This means strengthening knowledge creation, transfer, and utilization. A smart RDE shall continue to produce high-impact and relevant research outputs, cooperative extension and utilization, sustainable innovations, and technological upgrades. We will have niching of researches and research centers, establishment of fabrication laboratories and food incubation centers, establishment Center for Lifelong Learning for short-term courses and delivery of CPD learning and development activities. Membership and collaboration with international and ASEAN research universities. Intensify public-private academia partnerships and increase externally funded projects and programs. A smart governance. Governance of BukSU will bank on the use of technology and innovation to facilitate and support enhanced decision-making and planning. Smart governance implies simple, ethical, accountable, responsive, and transparent governance. We will establish the BukSU Institutional Research Center as the centralized executive dashboard and knowledge management system to store and analyze university data as basis for decision and policy making. Establishment of the External Relations and Linkages Office to facilitate external funding and linkages for the university. Establishment of the BukSU Client Support Center, which will facilitate the centralized response, client feedback, and handle complaints. The success of an organization lies in its workforce. Hence, at the heart of a smart BukSU is a smart BukSU workforce, created by a work culture that empowers, motivates learning, encourages positive change, and inclusive. The well-being of employees will be prioritized through academic breaks, research-based well-being program, and strength-based well-being capacity development. The well-being of BukSU community is a priority in my administration. We will revisit and strengthen the existing BukSU Employee Wellness Program to make it comprehensive, research-based, and compliant to the Mental Health Act of the Philippines. Learning and development opportunities for non-teaching personnel subject to guidelines. Appealing faculty development program for further studies in top universities in the Philippines and abroad. We will provide the necessary support for faculty scholars and potential scholars. Bukidnon cultural learning sessions for BukSU employees so that we can model the cultural sensitivity we hope to develop in our students. As a higher education institution, we are tasked with producing smart students, future-ready graduates who are competent and ethical professionals in their respective fields. We will strive to develop well-rounded students who are able to harness their potential as innovative and ethical Filipino leaders through holistic development of students using the CHED's Tertiary Sports Development Program via diverse programs in sports, literary and the arts, spirituality, and cultural competence. Investment in mental health services for students. Innovative and ethical leadership has been the hallmark of BukSU in the last couple of years. Let us build upon these values as we traverse a great future for our university. The journey will not be easy, but I will be with you in every step of the way. May it be in front of you to provide light when the path becomes dark, or be behind you to push you and BukSU to realize its potential. But more frequently, I will walk beside you to learn from you, to see the path with the same eyes, to hear your voice, and to work with you to reach our dream for our beloved university. Let us together build a smart BukSU, a future-ready university.
Thank you very much, Dr. Joy M. Mirasol. You may now go back to the holding area. May we now ask our third presidential candidate to be here in the hall. Our third presidential candidate is Dr. Mercedita S. Villamayor. She is a Professor 6 of Bukidnon State University and the Dean of the College of Education. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to present to you Dr. Mercedita S. Villamayor. A round of applause, please.
My due respect to the Board of Regents of this university headed by Commissioner Jomar M. Libre, the Search Committee for Presidency chaired by Attorney Lily Freda Milla, our OIC, Attorney Ryan Esteves, other university officials and colleagues, my supportive and inspiring life partner, Ed, our dear students, fellow alumni, internal and external stakeholders, guests, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant day to all of us. Future-proofing education, leveraging the glorious past and the exilient now. Leveraging from the glorious past, my parents and siblings, the Sinday Jegos, recognized as the model family of Don Carlos Bukidnon, with our father, who was declared as National Ulirang Ama in 1994 for Home and Family category. Likewise, from the past administrators of Bukidnon State University with their philosophies and our priority, programs, and projects. William Henry Piquel, the founder whose primary mission was to provide quality education. His descendants were traced through social media in 2011 by Ms. Bernadette Cabrera, former faculty member of this institution. It was during the time of Dr. Victor M. Barroso that the granddaughter and great-grandchildren were reached out in Kalinan, Davao City. Upon confirmation on the veracity of information, an unveiling of his portrait was done with his descendants as witnesses. Superintendent Pacifico A. Ramos earned his BSc major in History and Political Science as his minor from the University of the Philippines and was a recipient of 10-month training in the Iowa State Teachers College. He had thought for the future about 70 years ago, as found in one of his scribbles shared by his daughter, Carol. The world of tomorrow needs the flexible man who can land on his feet when his job becomes technologically obsolescent. Dr. Jaime M. Hillor, his motto was to serve the least, the last, and the lost. Opened the external study centers in the far-flung places like hinterlands in Davao and island in Surigao with his rationale based on the saying, if Muhammad cannot go to the mountain, let the mountain go to Muhammad. Dr. Hillor was the president when I started my life as a student in 1979. I became the president of the Sangguniang Pangkolehiyo ng mga Estudyante or the Supreme Student Council. Upon graduation, I was hired as an instructor and advisor of the High School Student Council. Conversion of the to Bukidnon State College was during the stint of Dr. Hillor, and according to him, due credit should also be given to Superintendent Ramos and his sister-in-law, Lieutenant Colonel Leonor M. Kaliwag, the presidential nurse of then President Ferdinand E. Marcos, who signed PD 944. Dr. Teresita T. Tumapon's influence on me was on forging linkages with her advice, maintain strong connection with acquaintances, strengthen the faculty development here and abroad. During her time, I was a recipient of 2 foreign scholarships in Australia and Japan. She also spearheaded the offering of the PhD in Instructional Systems Design, the course which I have taken. Dr. Victor M. Barroso was the president when more curricular programs were offered, like nursing, HRM, and law. With the offering of the Bachelors of Law, I took the opportunity of enrolling as one of the students of the pioneering class. Aside from education, he also strengthened the culture and arts as the brand of BukSU. The university band, chorale, dance troupe had garnered awards in local and international competitions. The conversion of our institution to a university, the BukSU hymn, the land titling of the main campus are the few of the significant accomplishments he had as the president. It was during his presidency that open communication through Brace the Link was initiated by the Office of the VPAPD. I also learned from him that supervisory skill is very important for a leader. When he gave tasks, we have to see to it that we do it at once because he checks the venue before the start of the event. Like a father, he would check on your location, even midnight or dawn, especially if you are with university guests. He made sure that food is provided along the way and upon reaching the hostel and hotel. Dr. Oscar B. Cabanyeles had been my career coach because he was my direct supervisor as his faculty associate for 13 years, and when he was a dean and VP, and 2 years as technical assistant when he became the university president. Expansion through land acquisition, quality assurance, consultative leadership, cultural integration, and transparency in management are his characteristics that are worth emulating. Awards were received as proof of cooperative, supportive, and united internal and external stakeholders. Let me highlight a few of them. The award received from the Philippine National Police for private sector category was because of the preschool I established, which became an adapted preschool of BSE as an extension partner. The outstanding teacher of Malaybalay City was in coordination with Rotary Club with their guiding motto, service above self. The plaque from the National Economic Development Authority was in recognition of my being a regional qualifier for outstanding volunteer, spearheaded by the Philippine National Volunteer Service Coordinating Agency, crediting the flower arrangement training conducted to the Lumad flower vendors. NEDA also awarded me with Early Bird Certificate for Consistency, coming early during the quarterly RPMS. The Bust of Rizal is rarely given, and I was awarded by the Knights of Rizal for being a versatile campus student advisor. The highest award I received were the Gold Medallion and the Flame Trophy from Metrobank, having declared as the National Outstanding Teacher when Senator Mig Zubiri co-chaired with Justice Natura during the final screening. I gave ample time expounding on the glorious past because I considered them as scaffoldings and the building blocks in making me decide to vie for this presidential quest. The exiliant now could also be credited to the honorable members of the Board of Regents for sending an angel to our university in the person of Attorney Ryan L. Esteves. With his leadership, I learned a lot from him, especially when he issued a memorandum hold of the exiliant now are made possible with the strong and solid families, the Villamayor and BukSU. Together with my supportive and caring husband, we have raised 4 loving children. And the BukSU family considers each member as a piece of puzzle. Each one does his part and support each other when a bigger task is faced. The College of Education accomplishments were achieved through the ASAM Unwanted initiatives, which were recognized by the Development Academy of the Philippines as finalists in the GBPR, or Government Best Practice Recognition. In 5 years' time, the College of Education was able to produce 14 top-notchers, and we would like to thank the provincial government of Bukidnon, city government of Balay-Balay, and Congressman Flores for recognizing their efforts. All programs were issued with COPC, and 3 programs are accredited level 4 by AACUP. These accomplishments could be credited to the full cooperation and strong partnership with internal and external stakeholders, especially the parents and of course, the implementation of the significant initiatives. ASAM advisorship, summative area adoption, mentorship. Wanted, optimizing network in teacher education development. These initiatives were used as basis for recognizing the achievers through the GLACE program. GLACE, great leaders with astounding zeal for education. We are offering these initiatives to the other colleges of our university to embrace because we consider them as best practices unique to our college. Some colleges and universities nearby already did their benchmarking with us. Future-proofing education. Learn to teach, teach to serve. This could be achieved through my proposed vision and mission. Vision, a borderless, comprehensive institution shaping innovative and ethical leaders for sustainable development. Mission, to nurture excellent transformation of communities through quality instruction, research, extension, and production. Specifically, the mission and vision will be accomplished with the strategic goals focused on people. Faculty, strengthen capability development of the faculty, inspiring the faculty to avail of foreign and local scholarships, reinstituting the continuing professional development or the CPD program, support the establishment of foreign language center. Non-teaching personnel, implement the ROS with equity and fairness. reinstitute the continuing training for personal development. Propose to offer night classes for working students, including the non-degree holder personnel. Students, leadership enhancement activities, and character building initiatives, including financial literacy. Formation of varsity groups for various events. Culture and arts troops be strengthened. Regular conduct of Brace the Link for open communication. For alumni and community, establish strong linkage with the alumni or community through the need-based and research-based extension activities. Open to the alumni or community the research results conducted by the university for possible utilization and basis for programs, activities, and projects. Forge robust connection with alumni and LGU, DepEd, and other government and non-government organizations, especially in the management of the satellite campuses and placement of our interns on the job trainees. Internationalization. Expand the global connection through involvement in international alumni associations like PhilJames, or Philippine-Japan Ministry of Education Scholars, PA3I, Philippine-Australian Alumni Association, Fulbright Alumni, and the like. When CF moratorium will be lifted, as a center of development, we will again send our students abroad for their internship. Having been an active collaborator of the EDU, Education for Interdependent World, we will push through with the project force. Benchmarking and proposal be finalized for having BukSU as an educational tourism hub. Be actively involved in other internationalization activities. Fully support the activities as the regional hub for global citizenship education. As to the resource generations, I had requested the provincial government of Bukidnon to reconvey the land where the grandstand is built. Establish the Center for Teaching Excellence through the CII from Senator Gordon. Income will be generated from the BukSU when BukSU becomes a hub for edu-tourism, a niche for indigenous people education. Create a policy for special education implementation for possible funding by the U.S. Embassy. Support the plan of becoming CPD provider. Develop additional garden like Zen in the Annex campus or other vacant places. Hasten the completion of the laboratory schools in Annex A for increased number of customers to the proposed cafeteria. Support the proposed alfresco and rehabilitation of the swimming pool at the BukSU Hotel for additional income. Implement the proposed development plan at the Annex B campus. As to my commitment, I commit to do my best to implement the lessons I have learned from my parents, my family, my teachers, and the former administrators in respecting inclusivity, love of environment, embracing cultural practices, and making BukSU become a borderless comprehensive institution, shaping innovative and ethical leaders for sustainable development through mobility, sincerity, and vision-driven. Let's dream big. Together, we can do it.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mercedita S. Villamayor. You may now go back to the holding area. We would like to remind the audience to please specify the name of the presidential candidate you would like to ask the question to in the question sheet. Thank you very much. We are now done with the presentation of each presidential candidates. With that, we will take a break to give time for the search committee for the presidency to collect and screen the questions for our question and answer portion. As of the moment, please help me welcome, once again, the Bukidnon State University Chorale for the intermission number.
Chichirichi, talibang-bang, sa ginto, sa lagubang, ang babae sa lansangan, kung humiri parang tandang, Santo Niño sa pandakan, Puto Seco sa tindahan, gumayaw ka, magpautang, ubusin ka ng langgam. Mamamama, namamangka, masakayin niya rin bata, pagdating sa Maynila, ipagpalit ng manika. Ale-ale, namamayo, pasupubin na rin sa bol, pagdating sa malabon, ipagpalit ng bago. Chichirichi, talibang-bang, sa laginto, sa lagubang, ang babae sa lansangan, kung humiri parang tanda, sa Niño sa pandakan, Puto Seco sa tindahan, gumayaw ka, magpautang, ubusin ka ng langgam. Ang mamama, namamangka, pasakayin niya rin bata, pagdating sa Maynila, ipagpalit ng manika. Ale-ale, namamayo, pasupubin na rin sa bol, pagdating sa malabon, ipagpalit ng bago. Chichirichi, alibang-bang, sa laginto, sa lagubang, ang babae sa lansangan, kung humiri parang tandang, kung humiri parang tandang.
The day we arrive on the planet and blinking step into the sun, there is more to see than can ever be seen, more to do than can ever be done. There's much to take here to, more to find than can ever be found. But the sun rolling high in the sapphire sky gives great and small of the endless round in the circle of the and it moves us all in the circle of life, and it moves us all, moves us all to despair and hope in the circle of life, to despair and hope, to despair and hope, to the faith and love in the circle of life, to the faith and love, to the faith and love, to find the place in the circle of life, to find the place, to find the place, to the black and white in the circle of life, to the black and white in the circle of life, in the circle of life, in the circle of There's much to take here to, want to find that can ever be found. But the sun rolling high in the sapphire sky gives great and small of the endless round in the circle of life. And it moves us all, moves us all to despair and hope in the circle of life, to despair and hope, to despair and hope, to the faith and love in the circle of life, to the faith and love, to the faith and love, to find the place in the circle of life, to find the place.
circle, in a circle of life, in a circle, circle, in a circle of life.
Thank you very much, Bukidnon State University Chorale. As of the moment, we will take a 10-minute break to give time for the search committee for the presidency to collect and screen the questions for our question and answer portion. Thank you very much. which is the question and answer portion. Again, the candidates will answer the same questions, one from each of the 5 sectoral groups. Each candidate will be given 2 minutes to answer each question. Our first presidential candidate to be on stage. Our assistants, please usher Dr. Telero now here on stage. Our assistants, you may now usher Dr. Teleron here back on stage for the question and answer portion. Good morning once again, Dr. Teleron. So once again, we would like to remind you to please be aware of our timekeeper, and you will be answering each question for 2 minutes. And I will be reading the question twice. The first question is from the students. What are your strategies or ways to implement and impose academic discipline to the BukSUans in a way that they can perform well academically and raise the academic performance of our university? I will read it once more. What are your strategies or ways to implement and impose academic discipline to the BukSUans in a way that they can perform well academically and raise the academic performance of our university?
Good morning once again. My best answers to that question is that I will create a policies that the students will benefited. So first, maybe the policies that I'm talking about is that what you call this a strong curriculum, like what I've presented before, that industry-driven, that will jive to the industry-driven. Now, the next is, I will invite external experts to give them an insights to whatever fields they wanted to. And then, I will also expose them into real-world applications, like implementing laboratories for different programs, especially in the College of Law. We will implement those actual court in the classrooms. For nursing, actual pictures of all the industry equipments. For education, still an actual settings in the industry. I think that's all of my answer to that question.
Thank you very much, Dr. Teleron. Your next question will be from the main campus. What are your plans to address the concerns on heavy workload of the faculty? For example, multiple designations and assignments without ETL and etc. Again, what are your plans to address the concerns on heavy workload of the faculty? For example, multiple designations and assignments without ETL.
Okay, my best answer also is that I'm also a faculty. I experience multiple designations. So in my presidency, I would like to limit the designations distributed to all faculties who are qualified to that position. That's why, based on my experience, I can see the difficulties of the faculty. Although we are deloaded, our loads, but basically the burden as faculty is there, embedded to that designation. So, in my part, I will look for the qualifications at the HR, because some of the faculties, when you designate, they are asking for another reasons that they rejected your offer to designate some positions. So, in my part, I will visit the HR records for them to have an idea what this faculty educational background all about. I think that's all for my answer.
Thank you very much, Dr. Teleron. Another question from the faculty from the satellite campuses. I will read the question. There are ongoing legislative bills filed in both chambers of Congress on the conversion of various satellite campuses into regular campuses of the university. This is House Bill number 6129, authored by Congressman Jose Maria R. Zubiri Jr., of the 3rd Legislative District of Bukidnon, which has already passed the 3rd and final reading in the House of the Representatives. A similar bill was also filed and authored by Senate President Juan Miguel F. Zubiri as Senate Bill number 613, which has already hurdled the committee level in the Senate Committee on Higher Technical and Vocational Education. Such measure, when passed into law, would ensure that our satellite campuses be provided with the necessary budget requirement and manpower complements as a regular campus from the national government, thereby ensuring its continued operation. May we know what is your stand regarding this bill? May we also know what is your plan for our 15 satellite campuses? I repeat, may we know what is your stand regarding this bill? May we also know what is your plan for our 15 satellite campuses?
Okay, my best answer to that is I am yes to that bill, but during the implementation, I will assign those campuses, those satellite campuses with an administrator, maybe a campus director who will facilitate the management of that campuses. If necessary, I will give budget also to the improvement of the campuses, because most of the issues is their satellite campuses have did not their own buildings. They're using the buildings of other government agencies. So in my part, I will appropriate budget to that for the betterment of the campuses, because they're also part of the community. They need also attention. They need also monitoring of the top management. So as president, I will visit regularly to the sites and inspect the necessary, because I am engineer. My practice is that I will see to it that the integrity of the campuses is intact. I think that's all for my answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Teleron. The next question will be from the Non-Teaching Association. Since the non-teaching employees do not have representation in the BOR, in what way can we be best represented? Again, since the non-teaching employees do not have representation in the BOR, in what way can we be best represented?
Okay, my best answer also is that me personally, I am a person that talk about the rank or file person. I always talk to that person because I started with the poverty difficulties during my college days. That's why I understand them. So I will talk to them personally, no, and listen to what their problems, and then I will also during that conversation I will bring faculty, in charge or president of the faculty, so that they can create their policies, so that that policies will be introduced during the academic forum or during academic academic forum during deliberation of to approve those kind of policies. I think that's all for my answer.
Thank you, Dr. Teleron. Your next question will be coming from our community partners, specifically from the Office of the IPMR. This is the question. How can you integrate contemporary learning methods in a manner that it will be affordable and accessible to IP students? Again, how can you integrate contemporary learning methods in a manner that it will be affordable and accessible to IP students?
Okay, my best answer is that the technology is already in place. Again, the technology is already in our actual event in our lives. So the best thing to do is that we will assign a committee to give lectures to them so that they can appreciate what the technology is all about. So I will give effort to explain to the committees that they have to consider those who is not really understand what is the technology all about. So I think that's all for my answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Teleron. Another question from one community partner, LGBTQIA+ community. The question is, despite the Philippines' supposed adherence to one tenet of inclusive education, students who are members of the LGBTQIA+ still experience discrimination, bullying, lack of access to LGBTQIA+ related information, and in some cases, physical or sexual assault. These are compounded by discriminatory policies or practices that exclude them from fully participating in school environment. Facing this kind of issues, how will you promote school safety for all students experiencing such problem, especially members of the LGBTQIA+?
Okay, my best answer is also like this. Like what I presented, I already give all the possibilities if I am the president of this university. So I will make policies and implement it and disseminate the whole campus. So whatever whoever commit those policies will be given a sort of maybe a warning to all who committed those policies. So I think so far that is my views. So along the way, if I am the president, maybe I can innovate something for the LGBT community. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Teleron. Another question from our community partner from the LGU. As part of the academe, what milestones and essential programs you believe would ensure competent and global competitive product of Bukidnon State University? I'll repeat. As part of the academe, what milestones and essential programs you believe would ensure competence and global competitive product of BukSU?
Now, as engineers, I am focusing on the engineering programs because myself, I started with a below poverty person. Then I grew up and now I am here applying for a presidency. I developed many innovations. No, I started designing because I am computer engineer and electronics engineer also. I started designing with my sort of experiments, and then suddenly I made some connections with the private sectors, and then they will market my products. I started at the year 2000, and now, even until now, I'm still producing those products. And that products will be used in our university if I am the president of this university. I think most of my platform here is more on innovations, because innovations can change the whole life of a student. Not only technical, but in the whole programs, because I've learned that any programs you taken, if you are aware that your programs focus on the industry-driven, of course, you can be successful like me. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Teleron. And your last question is from our community partner, specifically the Animal Welfare and Protection Society. This is the question. Recently, it is very evident that animals, such as dogs and cats, are very present inside the university. Universities like UPLB is an animal-friendly institution that ensures the law of life and nature. Should it be time for BukSU to adopt the practice of being an animal-friendly university, or should it remain the same? If BukSU is ready, what are your plans and ways without sacrificing the safety of students? Again, it is very evident that animals such as dogs and cats are present inside the university. UPLB is an animal-friendly institution that ensures the law of life and nature. Should it be time for BukSU to adopt the practice of being an animal-friendly university? If BukSU is ready, what are your plans and ways without sacrificing the safety of students?
Okay, of course, we will adopt those similar law of UPLB because they're also a human being. No, they have their lives that we have to consider their safety. But the problem is that how to implement those safety for the students. Now, this question is new to me. I guess my answer is not favorable to you because I can see also that problem in our university. There's a lot of animal inside. So what you have to do maybe is to fence everything, no? And then allow do not allow those animal or dog or cat to enter into the classroom. Maybe the classroom is fully air conditioned, if possible. Then the problem is in the lobby. We cannot hinder the animals go around in the lobby. But in the classrooms, we will make sure that we will close or make it air-conditioned rooms. I think that is my answer. I don't know if favorable to you. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much once again, Dr. Teleron. So you may now go back to the holding area. We will now call back once again our second presidential candidate, Dr. Joy M. Mirasol. The second presidential candidate and third presidential candidate will have the same questions. Good morning once again, Dr. Joy M. Mirasol. Please be aware of our timekeeper, our assistant, and I will read each question twice. Your first question is from the students. What are your strategies or ways to implement and impose academic discipline to the BukSUans in a way that they can perform well academically and raise the academic performance of our university? Again, what are your strategies or ways to implement and impose academic discipline to the BukSUans in a way that they can perform well academically and raise the academic performance of our university?
That's a good question. That's academic versus non-academic activities of the students of BukSU. In my administration, I would like to have that our students will be holistic development. That means it should be a balance between academic and non-academic activities. For example, there are activities in which it's purely more on academic and some, let's say, non-academic, example, sports. So it should balance the holistic individuals of our students.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mirasol. Your next question will be from the faculty of the main campus. What are your plans to address the concerns on heavy workload of the faculty? For example, multiple designations and assignments without ETL. Again, what are your plans to address the concerns on heavy workload of the faculty? For example, multiple designations and assignments without ETL.
Again, that's the experience of our faculty right now. And I do agree that it's really difficult for them to do multitasking. And I have also experienced that, having multitasking designations. I would suggest, or part of my governance would be capability management. So I would like to harness the capability of all faculty in the university so that I can designate various faculty and at the same time develop their capabilities and not repetition of faculty being designated.
Thank you very much, Dr. Joy. The next question is coming from the faculty from the Satellite Campus. There are ongoing legislative bills filed in both chambers of Congress on the conversion of various satellite campuses into regular campuses of the university. This is House Bill number 6129, authored by Congressman Jose Maria R. Zubiri Jr. of the 3rd Legislative District of Bukidnon, which has already passed the 3rd and final reading in the House of Representatives. A similar bill was also filed and authored by Senate President Juan Miguel F. Zubiri, a Senate Bill number 61-3, which has already hurdled the committee level in the Senate Committee on Higher Technical and Vocational Education. Such measure, when passed into law, would ensure that our satellite campuses be provided with the necessary budget requirement and manpower complements as a regular campus from the national government, thereby ensuring its continued operation. May we know what is your stand regarding this bill? May we also know what is your plan for our 15 satellite campuses? Again, may we know what is your stand regarding this bill and what is your plan for our 15 satellite campuses?
A hard questions, in fact. I do believe that making our satellite campuses as regular campus or campuses in the university is a right step. A right step because it implies each of those satellites will have budget on their own in such a way that they can continue with different projects in each satellite campus. In my governance, if you notice, I did not mention satellite campuses in my presentation because my governance would be inclusive. Satellite campuses are already included as well as the main campus.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mirasol. The next question is from the non-teaching employees. Since the non-teaching employees do not have representation in the BOR, in what way can we be best represented? Again, since the non-teaching employees do not have representation in the BOR, in what way can we be best represented?
As practiced here in the university, non-teaching personnel are represented in other activities. For example, as chair of the performance management team, the non-personnel, non-academic personnel are well represented. In other activities also, in terms of hiring, they are as well represented. And I would suggest then, or I would like to propose that in my administration, non-teaching personnel would be included as part in the EXICOM.
Thank you very much, Dr. Joy. Another question is from the community partners from the Office of the IPMR. The question is, how can you integrate contemporary learning methods in a manner that it will be affordable and accessible to IP students? Again, how can you integrate contemporary learning methods in a manner that it will be affordable and accessible to IP students?
Again, that's a hard question, but I guess I would believe that it's part of the innovation part of the academic group wherein they can produce instructional materials, indigenous materials that can be used as instructional materials. And then aside from that, we can have research, we can have innovations in such a way that it can complement with the instruction function of the university.
Thank you, Dr. Joy. Another question from our community partners, specifically from the LGBTQIA+ community. Despite the Philippines' supposed adherence to the tenets of inclusive education, students who are members of the LGBTQIA+, still experience discrimination, bullying, lack of access to LGBTQIA-related information, and in some cases, physical or sexual assault. These are compounded by discriminatory policies or practices that exclude them from fully participating in school environment. Facing this kind of issue, how will you promote school safety for all students experiencing such problem, especially members of the LGBTQIA+? Again, facing this kind of issues, how will you promote school safety for all students experiencing such problem, especially members of the LGBTQIA+?
In my case, I would like to use the holistic approach, wherein I would like to consider the 4 entry points in gender and development. First, it's on people. Second, on policy. Third, on enabling mechanism. And fourth, in different various activities and programs. In other words, in terms of people, I would like to have a platform for them wherein they can be able to air their ideas, their problems, their concerns, and then it follows the policy making in which institutional policies particularly, and see whether these policies can be used based on the assessment after the platform has been given to them. And then third is on enabling mechanism. There should be monitoring, especially on the policies being implemented. And then also a call for action, that's part of enabling mechanism. And then for different activities, this is more on, I think the problem is more on awareness.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mirasol. Another question is from the community partners, specifically the LGU. As part of the academe, what milestones and essential programs you believe would ensure competent and global competitive product of BukSU? Again, as part of the academe, what milestones and essential programs you believe would ensure competent and global competitive product of BukSU?
I would believe that as a state university, the fourfold function would really look into globally competitive products. So first, on instruction. Of course, we are teaching our students to be globally competitive. In terms of research, we conduct researches in such a way that it could be need-based, it could be need-driven, particularly from the LGUs, and this output of research will be transformed or used in community engagement or extension, and then after which innovation comes in.
Thank you, Dr. Mirasol. Your last question for this round is from the Animal Welfare or Protection Society. Recently, animals such as dogs and cats are very present inside the university, and it is very evident. Years ago, other universities like UPLB is an such as dogs and cats are very present inside the university. Like UPLB, an animal-friendly institution, they ensure the law of life and nature. Should it be time for BukSU BukSU to adopt the practice of being an animal friend? Thank you very much, Dr. Mirasol. Those are your questions for our first round of question and answer portion. May we now request our assistants to please usher in our third presidential candidate. Welcome back on stage, Dr. Villamayor. I will be reading each question twice, and you're allowed to answer the question for 2 minutes. Please be aware of our timekeeper. Thank you very much. I will now start with your first question, and this is coming from the students. What are your strategies or ways to implement and impose academic discipline to the BukSUans in a way that they can perform well academically and raise the academic performance of our university? Again, what are your strategies or ways to implement and impose academic discipline to the BukSUans in a way that they can perform well academically and raise the academic performance of our university?
Thank you for that question. So I will be implementing the ASAM initiative. The ASAM initiative is the advisorship, summative, adapt an area, and mentorship. The students could perform well if they are also being guided by their respective advisors, and of course with the support of the parents, because in the college we have organized our Parent Teachers Association. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Villamayor. Your next question will be coming from the faculty of the main campus. What are your plans to address the concerns on heavy workload of the faculty? For example, multiple designations or assignments without ETL. I repeat, what are your plans to address the concerns on heavy workload of the faculty? For example, multiple designations or assignments without ETL.
With the presence of the ROS, we know that non-teaching faculty will be employed, thus the workload of the faculty will be lessened. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Villamayor. Your next question will be coming from the faculty from the satellite campuses. There are ongoing legislative bills filed in both chambers of Congress on the conversion of various satellite campuses into regular campuses of the university. This is House Bill number 6129, authored by Congressman Jose Maria Arzubiri Jr. of the 3rd Legislative District of Bukidnon, which has already passed the 3rd and final reading in the House of the Representatives. A similar bill was also filed and authored by Senate President Juan Miguel F. Zubiri, as Senate Bill number 613, which has already hurdled the committee level in the Senate Committee on Higher Technical and Vocational Education. Such measure, when passed into law, would ensure that our satellite campuses be provided with the necessary budget requirement and manpower complements as a regular campus from the national government, thereby ensuring its continued operation. May we know what is your stand regarding this bill? May we also know what is your plan for our 15 satellite campuses? Again, may we know what is your stand regarding this bill, and may we also know what is your plan for our 15 satellite campuses?
Thank you for that question. Having been a coordinator of the external and extension campuses, I feel the necessity of these campuses because, as Dr. Hilera once said, if Muhammad cannot go to the mountain, let the mountain go to Muhammad. And we have to take care of the least, the last, and the lost. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Villamayor. Your next question will be coming from the non-teaching employees. Since the non-teaching employees do not have representation in the BOR, in what way can we be best represented? Again, since the non-teaching employees do not have representation in the BOR, in what way can we be best represented?
Even if the non-teaching personnel are not represented in the BOR, but because of the Brace the Link that we have, there is an open communication in the campus, so their voice, their concerns are always elevated through the administrative officers and also through in the EXICOM.
Thank you very much, Dr. Villamayor. Your next question will be coming from the community partners from the Office of the IPMR. Your question is, how can you integrate contemporary learning methods in a manner that it will be affordable and accessible to IP students? Again, how can you integrate contemporary learning methods in a manner that it will be affordable and accessible to IP students?
Through the community extension, that's our umbrella for community service. And therefore, we also have to work closely with TESDA because in the PQF, there's a tripartite, the DepEd, the CHED, and also TESDA, because there are a lot of scholarships offered by TESDA. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Villamayor. Your next question will be from another community partner, the LGBTQIA+ community. Despite the Philippines' supposedly an adherence to the tenets of inclusive education, students who are members of the LGBTQIA+ still experience discrimination, bullying, lack of access to LGBTQIA-related information, and in some cases, physical or sexual assault. These are compounded by discriminatory policies or practices that exclude them from fully participating in school environment. Facing this kind of issue, how will you promote school safety for all students experiencing such problem, especially members of the LGBTQIA+? Again, facing this kind of issue, how will you promote school safety for all students experiencing such problem, especially members of the LGBTQIA+?
We have the Gender and Development Unit, and we also have values education or character building activities. So we have to inform everyone that LGBTQ are human beings who are to be respected equally.
Thank you, Dr. Villamayor. Another question will be from another community partner, the LGU. As part of the academe, what milestones and essential programs you believe would ensure competent and global competitive product of BukSU? Again, as part of the academe, what milestones and essential programs you believe would ensure competent and globally competitive product of BukSU?
One of the initiatives of the College of Education is the Wanted Optimizing Network for Teacher Education Development, which could also be adopted by other colleges, and they could also be named as OnePad for public administration or other terms. So we have to strengthen the linkages with our community partners, especially the LGU.
Thank you very much, Dr. Villamayor. Your last question for this round is coming from the Animal Welfare or Protection Society. It is very evident that animals such as cats and dogs are present inside the university. Universities like UPLB is an animal-friendly institution that ensures the law of life and nature. Should it be time for BukSU to adopt the practices of being an animal-friendly university? If BukSU is ready, what are your plans and ways without sacrificing the safety of students?
Actually, there was a memorandum issued by me in the Annex campus as to the stray dogs that were taken care of by the carpenters of the construction. But there was one dog, we call her Nanay, who is very friendly. And she actually had delivered the puppies in the secondary school laboratory. And we take care of that dog because she is not a danger to the other students, being taken care of well by everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Villamayor, and that ends the first part of our question and answer portion. Thank you. You may just stay on the seat, ma'am. We will now move on to the second round of our question and answer portion. These questions came from the audience and were already screened by the search committee for the presidency. So in this portion, all candidates will be on stage now. May we request our assistants and ushers to please guide our candidates here on stage. And they will be answering the same questions, okay? Each candidate will also be given 2 minutes to answer. We will be giving specific questions to each candidate. May we ask our assistants to please usher back our presidential candidates here in our mini theater. Please take your seats, ma'ams and sir. The questions that we will be giving our presidential candidates will be specific to them. This is specifically intended for each of them. There are 3 questions, and they will be answering each question for 2 minutes. Can we give now our microphone to our presidential candidates? Okay. We will start with Dr. Teleron, followed by Dr. Mirasol, and then Dr. William Mayor. Let us now start with Dr. Teleron. Your first question, Dr. Teleron, is, what is the future of learning in the digital era? And how will you make sure all concerned stakeholders, partners, can or will go along with it? Again, what is the future of learning in the digital era? And how will you make sure all concerned stakeholders or partners can or will go along with it?
The digital era is continuously growing. We cannot stop it because it's already there. So all we have to do is to strengthen our curriculum to adapt those digital technology. Like what I've mentioned, AI, the Internet of Things, data analytics, machine learning, and deep learning. That is, for me, we will embed that to our curriculum, whether whatever programs it is, we have to embed because it is a need, because technology becomes higher and higher. So the students of Bukidnon State University, whatever discipline, they can understand what is the real technology. I think that's all for my answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Teleron. Your second question for our round 2 is, BukSU is aiming for IP-centered university in Bukidnon. As a member of the Social-Cultural Performing Arts, what are your plans to achieve this goal? What can you offer to the members of the Social-Cultural Performing Arts? Again, BukSU is aiming for IP-centered university in Bukidnon. What are your plans to achieve this goal? And what can you offer to the members of the Social-Cultural Performing Arts?
Okay, we will pursue those aim. I will, as president, I will support those IP, and then we will give them as maybe a space so that they can perform to whatever they wanted to spread out the whole community. So as president, it is my duty to entertain to whatever culture or whatever part of the community, no? So part of it, maybe I will give them specialized special attentions to them so that they can really perform their they wanted to perform in the university, as well as to the students as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Teleron. This will be your last question. What are your concrete solutions to address the problem on the lack of classroom facilities in the main campus? Again, what are your concrete solutions to address the problem on the lack of classroom facilities in the main campus?
Okay, for the time being, we will use the blended learning, no, like online and then offline, then maybe alternate for the time being. But in the long term, I will propose for an additional classrooms, no, creating new classrooms, because population in BukSU is already growing, and then we have a lot of land areas. We can still build another building for that classrooms. But since we already have a software or platform to use it for a moment, no, because most of the issues is they're also implementing a blended learning or alternate class for face-to-face and online. I think that's all for my answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Teleron. You may now be seated. We will now proceed with Dr. Joy M. Mirasol. Your first question, Dr. Mirasol, is, if given the opportunity to serve as president of BukSU, will you intend to enroll more IP students as scholars? Will you be open in allowing IP students to enroll in BukSU Law in order for the IPs to have a voice in society and the local government? Again, if given the opportunity to serve as president of BukSU, will you intend to enroll more IP students as scholars? Will you be open in allowing IP students to enroll in BukSU Law in order for the IPs to have a voice in the society and the local government?
Definitely yes. In fact, one of our core values in the university is culture sensitivity or culture sensitive. So having our IP students here, the more that we can be able to serve them as part of BukSU community.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mirasol. Your next question is, how will you promote integrity considering you are surrounded with influential people? Again, how will you promote integrity considering you are surrounded with influential people?
That's a catchy question. I remain true to myself, I'll be honest, and whenever there are challenges, I would really capture it head on, and as much as possible, if there are really times wherein integrity or difficult situation comes in, difficult decisions, then I would go for a win-win solution.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mirasol. Your last and final question is, do you have any vision or mission for the satellite campuses, especially campuses outside Bukidnon? Again, do you have any vision or mission for the satellite campuses, especially campuses outside of Bukidnon?
In my presentation a while ago, it was inclusive. I did not mention satellite campuses because I believe that they are part of Bukidnon State University.
Thank you very much, Dr. Joy M. Mirasol. You may now be seated. Let us proceed to Dr. Mercedita S. Villamayor. Your first question, Dr. Villamayor, is, how can you improve the student services and welfare in the university? What specific programs do you have in mind? Again, how can you improve the student services and welfare in the university? What specific programs do you have in mind?
As educators, we are not only concerned of the head, but also the heart, the hand, and the health. So with that, I propose to have the varsity be organized for various games, and also the health and wellness would be available or open for students. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Villamayor. Your next question is, for faculty COS employees, we are beyond grateful for the many opportunities from the university. But what are your plans for the betterment of COS faculty in the university in terms of benefits and career advancement assistance, considering that we also have the same workload with regular employees? for faculty COS employees. The question would be, what are your plans for the betterment of COS faculty in the university in terms of benefits and career advancement assistance, considering we also have the same workload with the regular employees?
We are aware that we are being guided by policies. So we have to follow policies, but we are also to encourage them, inspire them to proceed with their masters so that they will become masters and be converted into regular faculty. So what we can do is to inspire them and open to them the various scholarships that are open, and we can see them in social media and also forwarded to us by CHED. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Villamayor. This will be your last question. In your first 100 days as a president, what are your innovative plans in research and extension, curriculum development, and in empowerment of the students in the BukSU and main campuses?
We have the fourfold functions: instruction, research, extension, and production. And those questions belong to those mandate. So we have to have capability development. We have to continue such development because they are all needed, not only for promotion of the faculty, but also for the betterment of the instruction. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Villamayor. May we request all of our candidates to please stand. This is now the time that we give our biggest round of applause to our 3 presidential candidates. May we ask them to remain on stage. You may now be seated, ma'ams and sir. We would like to thank everyone who contributed for the success of this activity. Dakol salamat inyo, Alan. For the information of everyone, after this public forum, there will be a closed-door panel interview which will be conducted by the SCP. Office in charge of the Office of the President, Attorney Ryan L. Esteves, will now give his closing remarks. Let's give him a round of applause.
To our members of the Board of Regents of this great university led by the most industrious Commissioner, Dr. Joe Mark Libre, the staff, the faculty, invited guests, and most especially our beloved students. To the members of the Search Committee of the Bukidnon State University led by our very competent and my very good friend, Attorney Lily Freda Macabangon Milla, and the equally competent team. Kasama po dyan ang ating CHED Regional Director, Dr. Freddy Bernal. Also to our equally competent BukSU presidential candidates, mahirap po ang kanilang pinagdaanan ngayon. Engineer Dr. Jerry Teleron, Dr. Joy Mirasol, Dr. Mercedita Villamayor, wala po tayong tulak kabigin. To all our local government leaders and friends watching via FB Live and listening via our radio stations, mayong buntag sa tanan. First, let me express my gratitude to all of you who personally came to witness our public forum for the selection of the next president of Bukidnon State University today. This is a very significant activity for our university, as we continue to look for the next leader of this great institution. I was fortunate enough to be given the opportunity to hold this coveted post ng walang search in the past few months. O diba, nalibre po ako. And I wouldn't want. And it has been among the most challenging roles I have ever had to fulfill. I was also privileged to be the OIC president of another SUC several months ago. but no two SUCs are the same. Each has unique features that make them different from the rest. And they also have different challenges that make them different, that you have to address. Naturally, being the president of such a very great university or community of innovative academicians and learners is tough. Aside from excellent leadership and management skills, the next leader must have true passion for higher education and resonate with the institution's values and missions. Today, we met and got to know more of our nominees. I am certain that whomsoever we chose to fill the role will push BukSU to new heights. Each nominee has stellar history, vision, mission, development goals, and qualifications that exhibits how they are all deserving of the undertaking. It is now just a matter of decision of the Board of Regents, taking into consideration the recommendations of our search committee. And I am confident that the committee upholds the integrity to conduct a highly technical and merits-based selection recommendation to help choose our next leader. Kung si Attorney Milia kanina may kinote, ako naman magkukot ngayon, pero singer. As Stevie Wonder would say, you either win or lose, but all is fair. Following the legacy of past presidents will surely be a hefty task for anyone. The university is a dynamic and growing institution that requires the guidance of a leader with both intellectual prowess and compassionate spirit. Albeit for a short time, I have grown to be part of BukSU, and I want to witness it grow and soar higher. Our beloved university has so much potential waiting to be unveiled, and I believe that the next president is capable of making this possible. As I return to my home base at the Unifast Central Office, I will bring with me the hope that more students here in Bukidnon and in the whole of the northern Mindanao finish tertiary education and eventually contribute to nation building. BukSU is one of our partners in implementing the programs under RA 10931 or the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education. And hopefully, we will be able to extend this assistance to even more beneficiaries. With the new administration, I am looking forward to having a continued partnership with BukSU in promoting the UAQTE programs and in helping more students. Thank you, Bukidnon State University, for giving me this opportunity to be your OIC president. I will sincerely treasure my stint here for the rest of my career. The many flights taken, naging Premier Elite na ako, to the many winding roads traveled from CDO to Malaybalay and around the province, the many forgotten and spent weekends in service with love. I am not complaining. I so loved it. Educate, innovate, lead. For those of you na hindi malinaw kung paano piliin ang presidente, 3 words: educate, innovate, lead. 3 important words for those looking for a more concrete and simple criteria for a search for president. Words that clearly describe our vision, aspirations, and dreams for the people of Bukidnon. Again, thank you and mabuhay ang BukSU.
Thank you very much, Attorney Ryan L. Esteves, and our heartfelt gratitude to you. Once again, a round of applause to Attorney Ryan L. Esteves. So for the candidates, the question is, will I make it? For the audience, the question will be, who will be the next? So all of us will hope for the best. So God bless Bukidnon State University. By the way, we would like to announce that we cannot entertain all the questions now. Perhaps the search committee can ask some of these questions during the panel interview. So once again, let's give a round of applause to everyone. Thank you very much for being here. As of this moment, we would like to request our OIC President, board members, BukSU SCP, and our candidates to be here on stage for our photo opportunity. Yes, in the center will be our...
Kung ikaw ay Dito subscriber, bisitahin sa inyong application ang dito.ph/register dito para sa